My next guest is probably no stranger to you. He's got some books over here as well, too. Candidate for United States Senate, Andy Martin.
Hello, thank you. Good afternoon, all fellow conservatives and believers in limited government. I'm Andy Martin, and I'm also running for the United States Senate. And guess what? I agree with my honorable opponent, Bill O'Brien. We need a principled conservative. But there are a lot of conservatives in New Hampshire that can't get elected to statewide office because they act in a way that subtracts voters rather than adding them. Now, let me tell you the reality of New Hampshire. We are not a two-party system. We are a 1.5 party system. The Democrats have built one of the most formidable political machines in the country. Mr. Buckley runs something that's even more efficient than the Chicago machine, which has collapsed. Now, as a young law graduate, I was drawn to Chicago, and I ended up fighting the crime syndicate, the outfit, the mafia, and helped send gangsters and political hoodlums to prison. I know what machine politics is like, I know what it looks like, and I know how it works. And I know how to fight it. Now, when we talk about being a conservative, it's not just on the issues, it's going out and meeting the people in a way that adds to our support. As a Republican, I have watched the Republicans fumble every 2 years, federal elections. 6 years ago, they conducted a rigged primary and nominated someone from Massachusetts, which was an indication that no one in New Hampshire was good enough to run on the Republican ticket. And that was the leadership that did that. It wasn't the candidates. And we saw the same thing happen last year. We had winnable seats, but the party leadership was more interested in serving themselves than serving the people. Now, we have to listen to the people. New Hampshire is not a red state. It's not Montana. It's not Missouri. It's not even Wyoming. We're in New England, and we have to meet the needs and the views of the people in New England if we want to get elected. Now, what do I offer? We've got General Razzmatazz who's running. He says he's an expert on everything. I don't know. But I offer the one thing that my honorable opponents do not, and that's experience. Experience with the media, experience in national politics. You talk about a proven conservative. I can tell you how lonely I was in 2008 when I was fighting Barack Obama. We have our book here if you want a copy. And the Republican Party just surrendered to Obama. They gave up. All these guys in the RNC in Washington and all these state parties, they ran out of gas and they basically allowed Obama to win by default. I didn't stop fighting Obama until the last vote was cast. And after the last vote was cast, I started fighting him all over again. That to me is the kind of proven conservative that you need. I'm a fighter. So if you want a fighter who's going to go out there and take on Jeanne Shaheen. Jeanne Shaheen's been mowing down Republicans for a quarter of a century because we don't listen to the people. And we've got to do that. We can't just listen to each other. Now, what I offer is hard-nosed experience in campaigning and in the media. When have you ever seen the Republican Party leadership of this state criticize the fake news media? But we're a desert. They think the union leader is conservative, but funny how Democrats always get elected, and Channel 9 is basically a Democratic Party clubhouse. President Trump is in the White House because he took on the media and he told the truth about the lies that the media are telling the American people and the people of New Hampshire. So we can't play by their rules and expect to win. That's exactly right. On that one, Bill O'Brien and I agree 100%. Now, voters deserve a choice, and they are entitled to an honest and an open primary. I just sent the state chairman a letter, and I said, Mr. Chairman, I am committed to an honest and an open primary because that will strengthen the party. I'm waiting for his answer, and I hope to get it next week. But what I have seen in the Republican Party of New Hampshire is self-defeating tactics that every 2 years elect Democrats. And we do it to ourselves because the Democrats come to the election to fight and win, and we go there for intellectual debates and to play ping pong. So what I ask you to do is keep an open mind. We're over a year from the primary. Don't only listen to the promises that people make, because one senator can't implement promises any more than one congressperson can. But one senator can make a difference. Missouri elected a senator who's now fighting against the oppression of Google and Facebook and Apple and all these companies that are taking our information and using it to fight for the Democrats. Google wants to defeat the Republicans. So we need to nominate somebody that can fight Google, that can fight back, that can put them under the lens and let them know that we're not going to go to the slaughterhouse like sheep, the way Republicans have done in the past. So what I urge you to do is to consider my credentials. Years and years of experience in foreign policy and national intelligence and defense, going out there, doing the hard jobs, and standing up at difficult times when many conservatives just melted. I'm not convinced that conservatives as a whole are any braver than liberals. And I've seen a lot of them who run and cut and run in the face of tough enemies. So finally, we're not going to win in 2020 unless we have candidates across the board who can stand up to the Democratic machine. We're not equal. They have $1 million in the bank. We don't even have enough money to stage a wedding in the bank. They have a highly organized group of people. We don't. We give these elections away. Now, whatever anyone will tell you about me, they'll tell you he's a tough guy. He's a fighter. When you're in a battle with him, you know you've been in a fight. If you beat him, it's gonna cost you. And I'm willing to go there and fight Jane Shaheen and be just as tough as I need to be to beat her. I can do it. Ask yourself not who you like the best, but who's the guy that can really take the battle to the Democrats. And that's not General Duda, it's me. So please, get behind me. Let's win this seat back. Let's stop surrendering seats. By the way, let me close by saying something about Ed Nail. I met Ed 7 years ago in a courthouse. We were fighting against Democratic Party ballot fraud. They were wanting to register everybody. Hell, they were registering oak trees and pine trees. And the result was that they were winning elections. Now, whether you liked the senator we had or not, in 2016, her vote was stolen from her by out-of-state people that voted up in the north part of the state, in Hanover and sometimes in Manchester. Governor Sununu was 100% right when he said that, and the media tried to browbeat him, and he kind of backed it off a little bit. But I can tell you, Ed Nail has been there fighting for the taxpayers in court, fighting against phony voter registration, fighting against drive-by voter registration in bus stations, and I've been there with him. I respect him. He's a terrific guy. I thank you all for the wonderful event today, and I'm ready to fight the Democrats. If you are, get behind me, and we'll give them one heck of a battle. Thank you. Thank you, Keith.
All right, thank you, Andy Martin.
Croc TV.